Hi everyone, and welcome to another video where I spill the tea on a tarot deck. My name is Debbie and I am from Spill a Tea Leaf Readings and more. If you're interested in learning more about me and what I do, you can check me out at spillthetealeaf.com. Today I am looking at a deck that I got in Salem, Massachusetts. Surprise, surprise. I actually got it a couple of months ago and I have been so busy and so exhausted that I have not even opened this box up yet. So this is also an unboxing video. You won't get to see my face in this video, but you will get to hear my first impressions while I show you the deck, which is exciting. So this is Tarot Neocolonial de las Americas, deck and book set by Patrick McGrath Muniz. And all I've done so far is I cracked open the plastic to make it easier to open, but this is still completely wrapped in plastic. So you really are getting my first impressions of this whole thing. And as I'm taking the plastic off, you can see the box itself. It's a nicer box. Definitely more of a collector's type thing. And it is a large box, so as usual, I'm having trouble getting the whole thing on my screen for you. I'm going to open the box, which is easier done off camera, so I apologize for that. All right. All right. So you have a nice sized guidebook here, which I'll be looking through later. Oh, the cards are also wrapped in plastic, and the box has that wonderful string on it to make getting the cards out easier. There. See, I didn't even know that the cards themselves would be wrapped in plastic. That is how completely unprepared I am to show you these cards. Or not unprepared to show them to you, but unprepared to do one of my regular videos because I really have not looked at the cards yet at all. All right. So let's see. Just trying to separate here. Okay. So here are the major arcana. You have the name in Spanish as well as English and French and maybe Portuguese. I'm not sure what the one under the Fool is. I'm really not very good with languages, period. So I apologize. But this is nice because you do get other languages in the mix. It's obviously showing different cultures. This is funny because it's modern. He has a laptop and headphones. Definitely a different take on it, but it doesn't feel different. You know, it feels very much the same. Now this is interesting because usually this card is the High Priestess, but this goes back to an older, I'll say, version of the cards by making this the Popess. But still, you know, it's very clearly the High Priestess. She feels very colonial for sure, as does he, but yet the Washington Monument is behind him, which is kind of weird. It's very America in the background. Okay, so he's holding a satellite dish and Ronald McDonald is there. And is that other person Donald Trump? And there's like a dollar behind him. So this feels like it's very much about commercialism. I need to get a closer look for a second. I really think this is Donald Trump, which is hilarious. And you can see the dollar there. This is highly amusing. Okay, the Lovers is different. I'm not saying that this is Pocahontas, but it has a very like, I want to say Disney Pocahontas vibe to it, except that there's nudity. I, I don't know that I like it. I mean, I get what they're doing. I don't know that I like it. But it's the card itself I like. The message doesn't make me happy, but I think that's part of the point of this deck. Hmm. I don't know if it matters that the license plate on the car is 1918, and I'm definitely like the weirdo that would notice these things. Because the road feels very modern, but then he's in this car from 1918, which is World War II. Maybe he's like in an antique car show. I don't know, but I find it interesting. So this card is more what I expected from this deck. It's I'm trying to like describe my feelings here. And I don't know that I can do justice to my feelings and my thoughts with verbalization. But this feels very much like white justice. And it's like a reckoning of sorts as well. Um, Again, there's like this weird blend of like modern stuff with the traditional cards and also like older um like colonial things. I mean, it's called neocolonial, so it's not colonial, but it has that colonial vibe, but also like the neo vibe, the modern vibe. And so like the lantern juxtaposed with like the pig and the landscape, but there's also a building in the background. It's blowing my mind a little bit. The Wheel of Fortune feels pretty traditional, except for the robot that's climbing up. That's very Terminator. Um, this card is kind of adorable. I'm a little bit sad that it's not a woman because I feel like it's usually a woman, but you know. I I find that I have mixed emotions about a lot of these cards, which is kind of why I bought the deck. I don't know. I like the death card. I'm using the English because I know I'll butcher the Spanish. Like I took Spanish for 8 years. I can't speak it. So I'm gonna stick with English so that I don't offend anyone accidentally. So she's like pouring water into a Coca-Cola glass, and there's a fire hydrant and like a water tower in the background. It's interesting. I love they're like on their phones. And I also love the commentary of faux news instead of Fox News. Wonderful. Love it. That's not some good modern commentary. I don't know what is. Um, hmm. I feel like as I continue to go through these, I feel like a lot of things I've already said, I could just continue to say. This one feels very environmental. Like I see the coral reef and it just makes my heart sad. Um, this one too. It feels very much like a commentary on the environment. So the sun, traditionally before RWS, the sun had two people in the cards, and that's actually something I'm not super used to because I'm so used to, Rider Waite Smith. Um, but it is something that I've started noticing is coming back, which makes this card interesting. Um, and it feels like two little boys playing, but also like boys, like almost like these boys are the same person, but from like a different time period or something. I don't know. Hmm. I I mean, again, I feel like I can't verbalize what I'm thinking about some of these, and so I apologize for that. Um, it's interesting that this card has the snake with the apple in it, because you usually see that sort of imagery in the Lover's card. But anyway, so those are the major arcana. And again, this is my first time seeing these cards. Other than what is on the box, I have not seen these. So you were getting my first reactions. So here we have swords. I Yeah, I mean, I feel like everything I've said is kind of I can just get repetitive very quickly with this, um, because it clearly has a theme and it's clearly sticking to the theme. And I feel like these cards make you think, which again is why I bought the deck. It was calling to me, but it was calling to me because I saw something in it that was not what you usually see. I saw that it was I don't want to say like a protest deck, because that's not what I mean, but like it was a deck with a message. Like it wasn't just about like this is a tarot deck of, you know, bunnies or TV shows or books, you know. It's not my Shakespeare Oracle deck. Like this, like it feels very much like the theme is a message of what we're doing to our world and to our planet, and how colonialism has shaped our modern world, and also like the damage that colonialism has done. Um, so I just want to point out that so this isn't page, this is maiden or dama of swords. Again, I don't know if that's Portuguese, but I love donzella. It's such a fun word. And I assume the last one is French. Again, I don't know. Um, this king looks very much like his face, the style of it. I don't know, it's not really popping up very well on my camera right now. Like I feel like I've seen his face in paintings from colonial times. Like it's very much of that style, which I appreciate. All right, so those were swords. Let's see. Next up is wands. I love that the ace is a cornstalk. Like that's fun. I love the smiley face necklace. Really is such like a weird mix of things, but somehow like it fits together really well. This one is Teddy Roosevelt, like 100% based on Teddy Roosevelt and his Rough Riding days from the Spanish American War, if you don't know what I'm talking about. Um what is that in the background? Do you see that? I don't know what that is. Huh. Might tell us in the guidebook. We go from cutting down trees to power lines. Okay, so this one, so I guess this changes from between suits because we had the Maiden of Swords, and now we have the Knave of Wands, which is another like older version of the page in tarot decks. But we still have the Knight. That's interesting. The Queen. She looks very much like Marie Antoinette, and the King. So I'm curious now to see the other pages in this deck because we had a Maiden and a Knave, but no pages yet. And I'll have to see. So here are cups. Oh my gosh, this is like it's like he's too busy taking the picture of what he sees to actually be present in the moment. I love it. Hmm. Gosh, look at all the things in the cups. That's definitely different. Very modern feeling. Hmm. That's weird. I don't like that one. That's oh my goodness. It's such a weird card. Okay, so here we have the Knave. So we have two knaves and one maiden so far. Very Elizabethan. Slash just Tudor generally, I suppose. All right, so that leaves us with pentacles or coins in this case. That's very different. Airplane flying by. Yeah, these are really interesting cards. Like I'm definitely gonna need to spend some time just looking at, like, there's so much packed into each image. Like there's so many symbols, and there's like modern like pop culture things, there's historical things, there's a lot of like Americana in here as well. Oh, I forgot to look. Okay, so we have one maiden and three knaves. That's just weird, guys. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, why couldn't they all just be knaves and one could be a female? I don't know. Statue of Liberty. This guy looks like, I don't know, Colonel Sanders maybe, but like without all the facial hair. Or like Jefferson. Oh no, it's Uncle Sam because he has the hat. Duh, I knew it was someone familiar. I'm used to him like pointing at you. Maybe that's why I didn't recognize him. Okay, so I don't know why I put all these cards the way I did. I'm gonna flip them back around. So this is what happens when I haven't seen a deck yet. I don't set it up to begin with, and then I confuse myself as I'm doing it. All right. So those are all the cards. And again, here's the book. It's a nice thickness. Again, it's a taller book. It's a bigger book. So we have a table of contents. In his acknowledgments, he's talking about someone who introduced him to tarot and ignited his curiosity for magical realism. And I feel like that was very clearly influential in this deck. So that's interesting. I want to take the time to read this introduction, but I can't do that while you can't see what I'm doing, but it was a good size introduction. Then there's sources of inspiration, 3 separate categories: art history, other tarot decks, and his own work. Engravings, illustrations, paintings, works of art from the Renaissance and beyond. Most, but not all, pertain to the subject of colonialism. He talks about different textbooks, different tarot decks. His intention was to create a deck that is both beautiful and also a pleasure to interpret in a way that makes sense both historically and individually. By learning about our history as a civilization, it makes sense in the world that we may be able to foretell future events. All right, so then he has an introduction to the major archetypes found in major arcana. And then each card has a little picture of it and a good chunk of information. Some are a page, some are a little bit longer. Well, I guess they're all about a page, just because the Fool is longer, so they carry over. Justice is actually pretty short. So those are all of the major arcana. And then he talks about the minor arcana. And these all get their own half a page, but you see the picture too. It also talks about the different numbers here. I always like when guidebooks do that, because everyone sort of has a different idea of what the numbers are. And part of it is because numerology has to be slightly different in tarot, because normally, you know, numerology goes to 9, because once you get to 10, you're back to the beginning with 1. But obviously that's not the case with 10. So it's always interesting to see how people interpret that. Okay, so more minor arcana. It looks like, and I'm only seeing this for the coins, but it looks like the court cards maybe get a little bit more here, though the 10 of coins gets a lot too, so maybe it just depends. Let's see. Yeah, that king doesn't have a lot to say. Oh, look, he's based on King Henry VIII. Remember how I was like very Tudor? I know my stuff. And the one I said was Queen Elizabeth. Totally Queen Elizabeth. Look at me. I'm so smart. Okay, so some of them are a little bit longer. I guess it just depends on the card and what he has to say about them. But after the minor arcana, tarot spreads and how to read this deck. So again, I haven't looked at this yet. I haven't had a chance to look through it. Usually I try to read these before I get on camera. So I'm trying to see like if he reads reversals, and I can't quite tell if that's what he means or not, but anyways. So he has 3 card reading, that's past, present, future. And he talks about a trinity of primary gods, Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades. And other threesomes, celestial, earthly, and underworlds. So there's different ways to read those 3 cards, but that's all he has to offer before going into the bibliography. And then his biography, you can tell he's an artist. And he shows his first tarot deck, which looks like our Marseille deck. And that's it. So that is the Tarot Neocolonial de las Americas deck. My first look at it, your maybe first look at it, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you are interested in getting a reading from this deck or another, please let me know. You can email me at info@spillthetealeaf.com. I also read tea leaves, and I do all of this in person or virtually, or by email if that's easier for you as well. Thank you again for watching this video, and I hope you have a great day.